Professor Barak Medina, Professor Dina Ben Yehuda, Mr. Oren Levy, members of the Diplomatic Corps of Colombia, Myanmar, Nepal, Nigeria, and the Philippines, donors, alumni, faculty, teachers, family, and friends, good afternoon. My name is Ronit Calderon Margalit. I am the director of the International MPH program, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the convocation ceremony of the 44th graduating class of the International Master of Public Health program of Hadassah and the Hebrew University. Please rise and welcome our procession of graduates.
I would like to congratulate you for successfully completing your studies, and I would like to wish you a great success in implementing the lessons and insights that you gathered here back home in your own countries. I'm sure that you'll contribute tremendously to your communities and to humanities in general. As you know, we at the Hebrew University, we believe that a university is primarily a community of scholars and students in which we develop knowledge together in a cooperative manner. As you can tell, we benefit much from this program, mostly because of the opportunity to learn from you, to learn from your own experience, from your knowledge, from your great ideas. And we are grateful for your decision to choose and come here to Jerusalem, study with us, develop new ideas. I would like to take the opportunity to share with you a story that relates, I think, to public health. It mostly demonstrates the fact that public health is mostly a multicultural discipline. It's a discipline that relates both to medical studies and to social studies and social sciences. And it's a lesson that I think that we can take home in various ways. It's a story about Roseto. Roseto is a small village in Italy, something like 100 kilometers or so southeastern from Rome. And it's a very old village, hundreds and hundreds of years. People were living there, working very hard in the quarries down the hills. And they had quite rough life there in Roseto. And then at the end of the 19th century, around 1880 or so, a group of 11 men decided to explore the world and to see whether they can change their life. They embarked on a boat, sailed all the way to America, landed in New York, and after a few weeks there in New York, they headed to Pennsylvania, to a remote place there, started to work in a quarry, as they did back home in Roseto. And as the time went by, more and more people from Roseto joined them in this growing community in Pennsylvania. And they decided to establish their own village there. At first they thought that they will call it Little Italy, but then they said, well, if most of us came from the same village, Roseto, let's call it Roseto as well. So it became Roseto of Pennsylvania. And they lived there for several years. And then, fast forward 60 years or so, in 1960, a medical conference conducted there near the area in Pennsylvania somewhere. And the local doctor of Roseto participated in this conference, and he shared some of the scientists there presenting their works. An interesting fact that he found out that in his community in Roseto, he has never witnessed cases of heart disease, at least with people under the age of 65, and he thought it's something that might interest scholars who are dealing with public health and related areas. And indeed, the scientists started to find out what's so unique in Roseto that may explain this phenomenon that life expectancy there is higher and a low rate of heart disease and so forth. And the interesting part is that they could not find anything. They could not find anything in their diet. They long ago stopped eating the Mediterranean diet and ate the unhealthy food that is common in the US. These people were not, especially doing physical exercises. They were smoking just any other places. It was very difficult to explain what's going on. How come people there are healthier? And the solution was found in this idea of community. The idea is that there in Roseto, what has developed is a very close-knit community. People in Roseto, it's something like a 2,000 people village, continued to say hello to each other. They were really interested in their neighbors' whereabouts. They sometimes visited a neighbor's kitchen and cooked together a meal. It's very common in Roseto that 3 generations live together in the same house. And the scientific discovery that is called now even until today, the Roseto effect, was that our health is affected not only by our own individual choices, whether to exercise, to quit smoking, to eat healthy food and so forth, but it's also the result of the community in which we live in. Whether we have people that care about us, that ask about our whereabouts and things like that or not. And it's a lesson for all of us, both in our work here in Hadassah and at the university and in the places in which we live, to remember that community is an important aspect of our life. And as I said, I wish you all great success in returning to your own communities, whether in a small village or in a big city. And I am sure that you benefited much from your stay here. I can say that we at least benefited much from your stay with us here. And I'm grateful for your choice to be with us. Congratulations, and thank you all for coming and celebrating with us this great event. Thank you all for maintaining this absolutely terrific program, both academically and socially. Thank you very much.
The Faculty of Medicine of the Hoop University is very proud of the Brown School of Public Health and Community Medicine in general. We are extremely proud of you, students who since 1970 have made the IMPH program a most rewarding and successful venture. More than 850 students from over 100 countries across the globe have participated in this unique experience. As the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, I'm in charge of 5 schools and many educational programs. I often ask myself, what are the right criteria to evaluate whether a program is a successful one or not? In the case of the IMPH, the answer is very obvious. This is an excellent program. The IMPH student body comprises physicians, nurses, other health professionals, as well as economics, social scientists, and many other disciplines. In this aspect, this program was created ahead of its time, as nowadays everybody is talking about a multidisciplinary in medicine. Another criteria for success is the fact that many of our graduates return home at the completion of their training to occupy leadership positions in the healthcare system of their countries and communities. Personal contact with our alumni and news of their impressive contributions to the health of the countries and beyond its the best proof now to show us how successful the program is. I would like to congratulate Professor Yehuda Newmark, the head of the School of Public Health, and I would like to give my personal congratulations to the head of the program, Professor Ronit Calderon Margalit. And mostly I would like to congratulate you graduates, whom I'm sure will be our ambassadors wherever you are going. I'm sure that there will come a day that we all will say that this Ministry of Health or this researcher who found a very essential and important thing in public health is our graduate.
I should decide whether I'm the mother or the father, I don't know, but I will discuss it with Professor Ben Yehuda later on. Okay. I've been asking myself during the last 5 minutes, what should I add, or what can I add to what Professor Ben Yehuda and Professor Medina told us. So I'm here only to say 2 things. The first one is obviously congratulations to all of you. I personally salute you because you are the one who is going to spread the word and implement everything that you have learned here during this year. Basically, you are doing all you can in favor of mankind. Nothing more, nothing less. And for your families that they are sitting here, first of all, thank you. Thank you for supporting this student, and secondly, you should be proud of them because they are the ones who are going to be the leaders for the next few years. I would in addition, I must add and thank the Pierce Foundation. Without you, this program could not be happening. So thank you very much from all of us. Now, since we are facing within 2 or 3 weeks the Jewish holidays, and the first one is the Jewish New Year, and we are saying for each other, we're wishing everything, so I wish you all the best. I wish you good health, and I wish all of us that you will be our ambassadors all over the world, and I will see another generation next year here in Ronit. It really is an honor for me, and I accept another invitation next year. So thank you very much, all of you, and congratulations.
ועולם גם איזה עולם נפלא on singing, Beitanu and you, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. At this point in time, I would like to call Professor Yuda Newmark and Professor Leonid Cadron to come on stage. There is something special for them. It has been a wonderful year to all of us because you were there for us. And we want to extend our thanks on behalf of all the professors that taught us. We say thank you, and you will extend the message to them.
Pleasure to be here on behalf of Mashav and on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's always difficult to speak after such beautiful and exciting singing, but it's better off if I speak and not sing, so that at least we'll be okay with that. And I really think that the beautiful flowers that Ronit and Yuda just received are well deserved. So congratulations, Yuda and Ronit. You might have noticed that all of the Israelis that spoke up until now were very short. And usually, us Israelis, we don't, when we get a microphone, we're not very short speakers. But I think something that's common to all Israelis in the hall, that we're all very tired today after an evening or a night of tight election results, so including myself. So I will try to be rather brief. So. Really, excellencies, ambassadors that are present here, members of the diplomatic corps, and I will ask the members of diplomatic corps and ambassadors to rise so we can recognize them. Thank you for joining us. You have traveled from Tel Aviv. Although if you had your embassies in Jerusalem, it would have been a shorter ride. But as was said before, I really want to congratulate, first and foremost, the graduates of this beautiful program. And I have to tell you that Mashav, the Israeli Agency for International Development Cooperation and International Aid, is very, very proud to be associated with this program for the last 44 years. Actually, this program was inaugurated by Mashav in cooperation with the Hebrew University and the Hadassah Hospital in the early 70s. And now we are amongst the sponsors of this beautiful program. I know other sponsors are also present in this hall. So on behalf of the government of Israel, I want to thank also the other sponsors of this beautiful program, because this is a very beautiful and meaningful program for the State of Israel, for the medical sector of the State of Israel, and one of the cornerstones of Mashav and of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Israeli diplomacy. One of the cornerstones is sharing Israeli know-how and Israeli experience and what we have learned here in the young State of Israel, sharing it with all our friends around the world. As we heard from Professor Ben Yehuda. More than 100 countries have been represented in this program up until today, and I think literally the Brown School has medical ambassadors in every corner of this globe. And we all know that the field of medicine and public health and public medicine is one of the basic traits of development in every community. And this program is undoubtedly one of the major contributors to spreading proper public health all over the world. And I think that's something that the Israeli government is definitely proud of, but I think the entire state of Israel and the people of Israel are proud of this program as well. Just to mention that Mashav has a number of programs in the field of medicine here in Israel and also abroad, and we're always happy to cooperate with the academic sphere in Israel and with the hospitals and with the Ministry of Health, and this is also something that we share the way we do it with many friends and participants from all over the world. So I want to send all of you back to your communities with the best wishes and greetings of the people of Israel, of the government of Israel, and please see us here in Israel as your partners for eternity. I know some of you are coming back after 20 years like the next keynote speaker, but please see us as your partners, and we hope to see you all over the world and also back here in Israel. So again, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Gil. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Frank Anthony, has practiced medicine in Guyana since 1993. After graduating from the Brown School of Public Health in 2000, he became the executive director of the Health Sector Development Unit, which was responsible for the reorganization of the health sector in Guyana. Frank managed health projects for the Inter-American Development Bank, the World Bank, and the Global Fund. He was responsible for millions of dollars that were allocated to carry out these programs, and under his leadership there was accountability and transparency. In 2006, Frank was appointed as Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, a position he held until 2015. Dr. Frank Anthony is an experienced legislator in the Parliament of Guyana for more than 12 years. His interest is in making laws relating to public health, food safety, human rights, child protection, youth, sports, and culture. Dr. Anthony has been elected as a member of the Guyana Medical Council and was recently appointed as PANCAP's Champion of Change for his work on HIV/AIDS in the Caribbean. Please welcome Dr. Anthony, who will talk on Was the Tussle Worth the Hassle?
So greetings from Guyana. It's nice to be back in the Holy Land. I have very fond memories of my studies here at the Brown School of Public Health. It is even sweeter to see so many familiar faces and to make new acquaintances. I'm excited to be here at the 44th graduation ceremony of the International Masters of Public Health ceremony. And I want to extend my warmest congratulations to all the graduates, to the teachers, and to friends. It is said that graduation is a time of beginnings and endings, of looking to the future with hope while saying farewell to faculty and friends. It's a time of emotion, of joy, of sadness, and some inexplicable feelings. But whatever you are feeling, try to enjoy it, as these experiences will help to make and shape you. 19 years ago, my classmates and I were fortunate to be in your position. We were teeming with excitement and ready to conquer the public health world. Looking back, I can proudly say that the tussle was worth the hassle. Sometime soon, you too would have to answer that question. And when you do, I hope you would find the worth of what you have accomplished here. As I think about it now, there was never a dull moment after graduating. I remember going to Washington to negotiate with the World Bank for an HIV grant. And a major part of that grant was for the treatment of HIV patients. As we concluded the negotiations, the bank team proposed a set of indicators by which they would monitor the project. And one of those indicators that the bank suggested was to measure the reduction of prevalence of HIV. Well, for the bank, this was a logical indicator. But for me, I knew that they did not read Leon Gorditz's epidemiology. Because if they did, they would have understood that with successful treatment, fewer people would die, and hence the prevalence would increase. So the reduction of prevalence was a terrible indicator for this project. It is needless to say that after Epidemiology 101, the bank gave us $10 million because I guess they figured out that we understood what we were doing. The point is that there would be ample opportunity for you to apply your textbook knowledge to practice. And when that happens, I hope that you're ready to grasp the various opportunities. I saw some of my colleagues in the recently concluded conference, and some of them are a little bit older than me. So as we grow older, we have started thinking about the succession. We are looking to pass that torch of public health to the next generation of public health leaders. The question is, are you ready to take on that mantle? As you graduate today, you stand at the crossroads. The world to which you return is a complicated place, with all its challenges and contradictions. Our society are even harder, with stultifying bureaucracies and sometimes a revulsion for new thinking. For some of you, it would be a challenge to decide whether or not you will be a bystander, tinkering at the fringes, or be a pioneer, working earnestly to make the next breakthroughs. The easy way is to acquiesce to the status quo, but would you make your countries better? Some low and middle income countries have fragmented health systems, limited resources, funding, ineffective programs, pervasive corruption, and other systematic ills. And all of these have resulted in disproportionate burden of morbidity and mortality. Is this your reality? Is this the status quo that we should preserve? Or should we try to reform the system? When I went back home, I felt that I was ready to lead, but the authorities there weren't prepared for me. It took months before I could actually find a job with my new skill set. I was, however, not daunted. I tried my hands at almost everything. I helped to write grant proposals, loan proposals, and work at things no one else wanted to do. I had my fair share of rejections and failures, but eventually things changed. Much of what I was asked to do was very new to the ministry. I started a unit called the Health Sector Development Unit, and that unit became the catalyst for change within the Ministry of Health in Guyana. We identified problems and we found solutions to those problems. It was like being in public health heaven. We wrote laws, created policies, modernized the health infrastructure, from simple things like health huts in the peripheral of our country to building inpatient facilities at the tertiary hospital. We even tackled malnutrition, micronutrient deficiencies. And we had one program that was called the Basic Nutrition Program, helping about 41,000 infants in 79 health centers across Guyana. This little Guyanese project won the Development Impact Award from the US Secretary of the Treasury, Timothy Geithner, in 2012. So if you ask me whether the tassel was worth the hassle, of course it has. As you graduate today, some countries like Israel are at the forefront of scientific discovery. Advances in biotechnology, genetic engineering, regenerative medicine are all opening up a new era of medicine that is precise and personal. The digitalization of health, the medical Internet of Things, such as telemedicine, virtual home assistance, medical adherence tracking, improving emergency response system, the use of artificial intelligence to improve diagnostics, the use of augmented reality to develop training are all pioneering new pathways for healthcare. In short, some believe that the future of medicine can be summarized in 4 Ps: predictive, preventative, personalized, and participatory. But while many of these countries are in the 4th industrial revolution, our societies are still jostling to find a place in the 3rd industrial revolution. We might not have the people and the resources to be at the cutting edge of science, but the least that we can do is to create health organizations and systems that are responsive to our citizens' needs. We need to dedicate adequate resources to health, align policies, reduce disparities in urban and rural, and to bridge that urban and rural gap. Bridge that gap between rich and poor. We need to lead the research, analyze data, and amass evidence to make that case for public health, and to lead in actions. In our countries, there are always other priorities. If we are going to influence decision-making, to prioritize the priorities, then we need the evidence. The evidence is vital. Graduates, a good story of evidence and action is the story of HIV. In the beginning, HIV was not taken seriously, but when millions of people started dying, it quickly shocked the world out of its complacency. To tackle the global threat, we found the resources. The researchers discovered the virus, and the scientists invented ARVs, and the clinicians started administering it as HAART. In 2018, WHO reported that mortality rates have slowed from 1.7 million in 2004 to about 770,000 deaths per year. The reason why it slowed is that the treatment works for those who receive it. But access to treatment is still a major challenge. A cursory look at the UN AIDS 1990 will show that many countries are lagging behind the targets that were set for 2020. Compounding the problem is that globally, there are 1.7 million new infections every year. 54% of these new infections occur in key populations. That is, in men who have sex with men, transgender women, and sex workers, and their sexual partners. The natural question then to ask is why there is such a disproportionate rate of new infections among key population. And among the reasons that this is happening is that our existing laws criminalize sexual behavior, and these persons are afraid to access services even when it's available. As one writer put it, James Weston, he said these laws invade privacy and create inequality. They relegate people to an inferior status because of how they look or who they love. They degrade people's dignity by declaring their most intimate feelings unnatural or illegal. They can be used to discredit enemies and destroy careers and lives. They promote violence and give it immunity. They hand police and others the power to arrest, to blackmail, and to abuse. They drive people underground to live in invisibility and fear. Reaching these vulnerable populations would entail changing the laws and scaling up services, but in many of our societies, there have been resistance to changing these laws. At least 98 countries criminalize some aspect of sex work. At least 4 countries report that people can be prosecuted or punished for carrying a condom. 66 countries criminalize same-sex relations. And in at least 10 countries, the death penalty is implemented for same-sex sexual relations. And at least 48 countries still impose travel restrictions for people living with HIV. At least 82 countries have laws that specifically criminalize HIV, non-disclosure, exposure, or transmission. And the advocates for these laws have often cited religion, tradition, and the probable moral degeneration of our society. But is this true? And what we found is that in countries that have changed these obsolete laws, moral standards have not declined. But on the contrary, people's rights are respected, societies are more open and tolerant, which allows LGBT citizens to access care without stigma and discrimination. As you head back home, there are many issues like this where your public health knowledge can at times clash with deep-seated societal beliefs. And here is where you must distinguish yourself by standing on the side of ethics, principles, and good public health practices. If we hope to end AIDS by 2030, then we must remove the legal barriers and other obstacles that have prevented us from reaching the most vulnerable. We must ensure that the new prevention methods, such as PrEP, that we deploy it widely. Now is not the time to prevaricate and procrastinate. Now is the time for us to renew efforts replenish the resources, and to make that final push to end AIDS by 2030. Can we do it? Of course we can. But HIV is not the only monster to be slain. We have to implement more aggressive programs to prevent non-communicable diseases, such as cardiovascular diseases, cancers, diabetes, and of course, chronic lung diseases. The World Health Organization estimates that about 56.9 million people, these diseases cause about 56.9 million deaths globally. This was in 2016. 40.5 million of these deaths are because of chronic non-communicable diseases. And of that 40.5 million, 31.5 million are in low and middle income countries. These are our countries. These are our people that are dying too young. To change the direction of this unfolding epidemic, we need global investments and plenty of local action to reduce the risk factors for chronic non-communicable diseases. Our challenges as public health experts, people, whatever you want to call yourself, are many, varied, and sometimes they feel overwhelming. But you have been trained for this. You know what to do. You have learned how to design studies, how to develop and evaluate programs. You understand past epidemics, and you know how to investigate emerging ones. The training you received here has prepared you well for the task ahead of you. As you graduate today, the IMPH program staff and faculty are incredibly proud of all of you. They have been with you over the past year, nurturing and urging you to success. Their mentorship has brought you to the point where the hassle is over and the tassel is within reach. As you graduate today, I want us to take a time out to acknowledge the incredible teachers here at the Bronze School. Let's give them a big round of applause. They are among the best public health teachers in the world. However, knowing them, they would be the last to accept platitudes. What they would want is for you to use your knowledge to serve humanity with purpose and meaning. And if you did, that would give them the greatest joy and satisfaction. So the best way that you can pay back these dedicated teachers a compliment is to serve others with your knowledge. As you graduate today, you must also be thankful for the generosity of Mashav, the American and British Friends of the Bronze School, and the Peers Foundation, and others who have helped with scholarships to bring you here. Their enlightened support has enabled you to receive a world-class education. Our thank you must not only be expressed in words, but in deeds, because they have invested in us, and so they want you to go back to your countries and help others. Let their generosity continue to inspire us to make a difference in our country. We hope that when we make our positive impact and when we carried out good public health actions, that we'll also encourage them to continue to support this school and its good work that it has been doing. As you graduate today, public health is still a work in progress. And we have left enough work for you to continue to make progress. Apart from the challenges that I have already listed, I envisage that many of you will lead us into the fourth industrial era, that you will bridge the knowledge gap in technology and in other areas of sciences, that you will adopt research and discoveries from the first world to solve the problems in the third world. I envisage many great things for all of you. In the end, whatever you choose to do, I am sure that it will revolve around practicing good public health, reducing suffering, lengthening people's lives, reducing health and social disparities, and of course, by doing that, you'll be making the world a better place for all humankind. Looking around me today, I think of the generations of IMPH graduates who have come before you, individuals who have made or are making a difference in their country and on the broader world. Some of you, all of you, very soon would be joining their ranks. You would become the ambassadors of this school and its tradition of excellence. As you graduate today, we are all delighted to salute your accomplishments, and we are all proud of your achievements. Celebrate and enjoy the moment. For tomorrow, we expect that you would start on that journey of using your minds, voices, and hands to imagine and to create a better world. I am sure that by now you would understand that the tassel was worth the hassle. Congratulations, class of 2019.
just how much I miss the gallant citadel, where these long ago brave men served this country well.
dòng trời đã lá dấu quên thương đâu này một không sát tàn dần chiều của tí cao dây quay thao Đừng bao lâu đâu xa bia gì mình là
minga siti ototi miniti ukwana lady suru mitinge na miru barati oduwere kucha fudinga miru hoteli mimitema ni bazimati badalasi mini na lady minga dula yala kasi mimitema ni bazimati sakalasi mini na lady minga dula yala kasi wo 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 wo.
So guys, any questions, comments? That's how I started all my lectures, and the response was more or less similar to what we just got now. Good afternoon, everyone. Frank mentioned how proud we are of our graduates, and I don't think he knows the half of it. We spent, as was mentioned, the last few days at an international conference, and through the support and generosity of Pears Foundation, we were able to bring back over 10 graduates to present papers at this international conference. And let me tell you, our graduates blew the audience out. It was amazing. They gave such amazing professional talks that we sat there. I had tears in my eyes listening to our graduates, and you are there in just a couple of years. So we are really, really proud. And while at the conference, you had the opportunity to meet perhaps Europe's #1 public health champion, Martin McKee, a good friend of our school, longtime colleague of ours. And a few years ago, Martin gave the keynote address at the Nordic School of Public Health at their commencement ceremony. And he listed several elements that we need to think about as we're training public health professionals, and what it is that we need our graduates to do besides go home with a fully laden toolbox of skills and knowledge. And I'll just mention a few. He started by saying we need to stimulate curiosity. We need people who want to understand the world around them, who will ask continuously why and how. We need people who are willing to take initiatives and to take risks, but are also prepared to accept failure and, even if necessary, accept blame. It is better, he said, to act and risk failure than to do nothing. We need people who can focus on the small details but also see the big picture and connect the dots. To balance Bradford Hill's criteria for causality with the precautionary principle. And we must support our graduates to engage with key decision makers at all levels. To do so, we in public health need a great deal more self-confidence. Here in Israel, and I'm sure the world over, the last few weeks, we've heard many eminent politicians and commentators freely speak about issues they know nothing about, yet they have the confidence, or dare say arrogance, to expose their ignorance on national television. Given a couple of hours and an internet connection, our MPH graduates can become experts on any topic. We need to be careful, of course, not to stand up and talk nonsense. But we should surely not be reluctant to challenge the stupidity of those even less qualified than ourselves when the interest of the public is at stake. And allow me to just add one more to Martin's list. I believe it's a crucial element for those of you who are returning to public health life. Public health challenges know no borders, but they also are never ending. And you can easily find yourselves becoming totally immersed and submerged in your work. Maintaining a reasonable balance between your professional, your personal, familial, and social activities is vital. And let me add, you know that our tradition, as we talked about in the synagogue, completes the cycle of the 5 books of Moses each year, and as we're coming to the end of the year, we are at the end of the 5 books of Moses. You, just a few weeks ago, were in the Jordan River. And this coming Shabbat, we are going to read the portion of the Torah that talks about the Israelites crossing that Jordan River and coming into the Promised Land. And Moses tells them, the first thing you must do is collect up stones, plaster them, and write the laws and what you learned and the morals and the values that I have taught you on those stones, and set them up as a national monument as you enter into the Promised Land. And thou shalt write upon the stones all the words of this law very plainly. And the commentaries suggest that very plainly means that they wrote the laws in a language that the locals can understand, and they wrote it in 70 languages so all peoples on earth can hear the word and the values and the morals. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear IMPH graduating class, we have done our best to prepare you to actively engage in a complex and changing world toward improving the health and well-being of the world's population. So go out there with your toolbox, with your memorized textbooks, with a sense of curiosity, with a wide lens on your camera, and with initiative, confidence, and professional arrogance, and go fight the good fight. But never ignore your loved ones or yourselves. And perhaps most importantly, hold up your MPH degree high with tremendous pride. You earned it. And share what you have learned with others, be it with other public health students in university lecture halls or with community members under a tree. Encourage them to come visit Israel, share with them your experiences, and encourage them to come study where you've studied in the last 12 months. And last message, Frank mentioned Gordis's textbook. Well, life doesn't have the answers in the back of the book. God bless, Godspeed, good luck, and we're here to help you get through those challenges.
This cohort did not have the privilege of learning and knowing Professor Jeremy Karg, who passed away in 2018. Jeremy was the son of the founders of the Brown School, Sidney and Emily Karg, and he followed their footsteps in going to medical school and into the world of public health. In 1980, he joined the Brown School of Public Health as a professor in epidemiology and the head of the Hadassah Epi Unit. Nevertheless, Jeremy became a worldwide renowned leader in epidemiology on his own. Jeremy's work has substantially advanced epidemiology and public health globally. He published his work in over 300 peer-reviewed scientific papers, including in leading journals such as the New England Journal of Medicine and The Lancet. On a personal note, Jeremy was my thesis advisor. I cannot overestimate the extent of what I learned from him, mostly indirectly, just by listening to his wise comments and advice. I came to admire his critical thinking, knowledge, beautiful writing, and enlightening insights. I still keep my manuscript drafts where on the first page he wrote, "Very nice." And then on the following pages, they are filled with red ink comments and corrections. I do miss him. Last year, Jeremy's family established the Jeremy Clark Legacy Prize for Academic Excellence, awarded annually to an international MPH student with an outstanding academic and research performance. I would like to call upon the stage Professor Ruth Clark, Jeremy's lifelong friend and companion, to award the prize. Ruth, please. And the winner of this prize this year, our student with the highest academic achievement, graduating summa cum laude, is Dr. Stella Njeri Kenja from Kenya. Stella, please come on.
As a feminist myself, I'm very delighted, me and my family, to present this prize to you as a woman. And the last year's winner was also a woman, so we are really delighted.
Stella, don't leave the stage. Okay.
To the chief guest and keynote speaker, the distinguished guests, donors, faculty members, family and friends, those present and those watching online, and to my fellow graduates, good evening. It is our honor to deliver the graduation speech on behalf of MPH Cohort 44, and it is our pleasure to welcome you all again to this joyous occasion, which is a celebration of all the hard work that has been put into our education and achievements over the 11 months that we have been here. We are so thankful that you're here, and because everyone who's here today has played a vital role in making sure that we graduate. Thank you.
I also am not a fan of mics. It has been extremely difficult to summarize all our experiences in one speech, but I'll try. So this is going to last only 30 minutes. We have traveled from all parts of the world, even in Fiji, one of life's many mysteries in Israel. Where is Fiji? Getting to know all the countries and each one of you. At a certain point, I thought we were taking a geography lesson. We came to study, and study we did. As my colleague from Haiti loves to say, study, because you need to study. And what a lovely place this is to study. We're in the Holy Land. I'll let that settle in for a while. With that being said, there were some adjustments that were required. Shabbat, tea breaks with only sandwiches, extremes of weather, fully functional public transportation, water, electricity, and tea breaks with only sandwiches.
Lunch.
My colleague from Burundi loves to say, it's amazing, followed by the question, what do you think? The educational and historical tours, the culture, the public holidays, the food, the people. Yes, Alexis, we agree, it is amazing. This experience has been amazing, and it has truly opened our minds. This experience would not have been possible without the support of all of you, sitting here and watching from home. The donors, Pairs Foundation, Mashav, thank you for believing in us. The faculty, thank you for teaching us and looking after us. The university, thank you for accepting us. And most importantly, the family, friends, and supporters, who are the true heroes in this story. The fruits of all your love, encouragement, and support is paying off today. Today, we all celebrate together.
Finally, to our fellow graduates, we see you, we did it, as Sol likes to say, boom. If you're looking for inspiration, you don't have to look far. Just look to the person next to you. And also look to your loved ones in the crowd. So our words to you are going to be in the form of 6 points. 1, pay it forward. Apply what you have learned, seen, and experienced here when you go back home, and teach others. It's not just for you. 2, be kind. Treat everyone like they're royalty, not because of who they are or how they treat you, but because of who you are. You're of noble character, and it's good that it shows when you deal with others. Shine. You all have the potential to be greater than you imagine, and we look forward to hearing your Nobel Prize acceptance speeches. And don't forget what Professor Yehuda taught us. We need to learn how to say thank you in Swedish. 4, stay hungry. Learn something new every day. Even if it looks very trivial, just learn it. 5, smile. We all know the world's fastest man is Usain Bolt, and there's a quote attributed to him when people asked him how he deals with haters. He said, "Kill them with your success and bury them with a smile." So don't listen to the haters. They got nothing on you. So we'd like to finish by sharing the wise words of our colleague, Sabere from Burkina Faso, who sadly could not be with us today. Remember, he told us to dream big, keep persisting, be resilient, and your dreams will become a reality. Thank you, and may God bless all of you.
Hi. Shalom. Hello.
Shalom.
Shalom. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, bonjour.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Mulibwanji.
Hi, ¿cómo no ye?
Hi, everyone.
Hola a todos. Hi, I'm Rhea.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, hi, everyone.
Bulla.
Namaste.
Minglaba.
Thank you.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know.
Because you need to study.
So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise. Playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place. Singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. Buddy, you're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street. You're gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on your face, a big disgrace. Waving your banner all over the place. We will rock you. Sing it. We will rock you. Buddy, you're an old man, poor man, pleading with your eyes, gonna make you zombie someday. You got mud on your face, big disgrace. Somebody better put your bag into your place. You could be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can win the war. You can talk to God, cold banging on his door. You
can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. Some will call it practice, some will call it luck. But either way, you're going through the history book. Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the first flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the wall to the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile. Be a hero, you can get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought would never be broke. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try? Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name.
I think it was a challenge to get to know all of your names, but as a group, you made an impression of a very nice group. I mean, very friendly people. So it was really fascinating to get to know you. So I hope that the toolkit that you acquired during your time here will facilitate your contribution to public health in the world.
Come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
I'll tell you.
When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. And what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond. And that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn. And that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride. Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go.
MPH 44! We salute you for leaving your countries and homes and coming to study public health abroad in Israel. In this school, with its 44 years tradition of supplying the world with the most well-rounded, the best equipped, and the most motivated public health practitioners. This could not come into realization without the scholarships you received from generous donors. We have with us today Ms. Dina Gidron of the Pearce Foundation and Joan and Robin Alvarez. We most gratefully acknowledge the support of our donors, the Pearce Foundation, Mashav, British and American Friends of the Hebrew, and Moshal Scholarship Program. For each of our sponsors, they represent lifetimes of hard work, culminating in the desire to give, to promote global public health, and to enhance Israel's rightful place among the nations. Thank you. raised by the social and political constructs of our countries, by hygiene and accessibility to healthcare, by the aging of the population worldwide, and of course by environmental factors and climate change. You have the power and skills to make a change in the health of populations, be it in your hometown or in the global community. Stay committed. Strive for justice and integrity in all you do. Fight corruption and dishonesty, as without a sense of public good, there will never be public health. Use your knowledge and skills to build bridges, or rephrasing the words of a world-acclaimed scientist and colleague, Dr. Seuss, congratulations. Today is your day. You are off to great places. You are off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You are on your own, and you know what we taught. And you are the IMPH graduate who will decide where you go. Keep us in your hearts, and we will keep you in ours. Good luck and Godspeed. So please welcome our first IMPH graduate, Valerie Muriel Pothel from Haiti. Stella and Jerry Kenja, who graduated summa cum laude. Someone from Myanmar, who graduated magna cum laude. Congratulations. Thank you. Sarika Mahato from Nepal. Sailosi Kato Soko from Fiji, who graduated magna cum laude. Sabir Oja from Nepal. Rea Benavides de Leon from the Philippines, who graduated magna cum laude. Ryan Henry from Guyana. Congratulations, well done. Natalia Gonzalez Borquez from Colombia. Congratulations. Najla Fawaz from Israel. Congratulations. Moses Chico Bandaaron from Malawi. Lelani Princess Chikanda from Botswana, who graduated magna cum laude. Lei E. Win from Myanmar. Lauren Bancroft from Guyana. Fomete Nomene Lorian from Cameroon. Congratulations. Well done. Iman Babatunde Ajidagba from Nigeria, or as we call him, Aji. Iman was also the pianist this evening, have you noticed? Dina Schwartz from Israel. Andres Felipe Izquierdo Riascos from Colombia. And Mariam Tesfajorgis Weldu from Eritrea. Well done. Alexis Nizigiyama from Burundi. Congratulations. Thank you. It was a pleasure. And last but not least, Henry Asidri from Uganda. Congratulations. Good luck.
Where's Felipe?
Hi, everybody.
Hey guys, another photo with Gil.
Yeah.